Thank you for joining us on this Monday morning where we as a nation are grieving and grappling with the senseless murders of 18 innocent people in a quiet pocket of Nova Scotia at a moment in these pandemic days where so many devastated families can now only feel our love and support from a distance. Here are the victims' identities that we can confirm at this moment. The first named victim, Constable Heidi Stevenson, was a mother of two and a 23-year member of the force. She lost her life in the line of duty protecting her community. We also know an elementary school teacher was killed, Lisa McCallie. She taught grades 2 and 3. Heather O'Brien, a nurse for 17 years. Heather loved her role as a nurse and loved being a mother and grandmother even more. And this family, Jolene Oliver, Aaron Tuck, and their daughter Emily, all senselessly taken. So many families devastated. We will hear all those stories in the days and weeks to come, but we are going to begin with Jolene, Aaron, and Emily's family. Joining me from Red Deer, Alberta, is Tammy Oliver McCurdy, Jolene's sister. And your daughter is also there. Tammy, we are so deeply sorry for your loss. Just know that this whole country is with you right now. And I want you to tell me about your sister and your beautiful niece and your brother-in-law.
Oh, my sister, she was a waitress for 20 years. She loved people. She loved listening. She loved poetry. She loved enjoying life and making the best out of things.
How did you learn that your own family were victims of this rampage yesterday as the news was breaking across Nova Scotia?
Well, I learned because I've been helping out at a long-term care facility, disinfecting and helping out at reception, and my grandma lives in that facility, and she came down and she says, "Did you hear the news from Nova Scotia?" And so I said, no. And I said, I've been working all morning. And so apparently my mom's been trying to get a hold of my sister all morning, my grandma, my sister. So I tried. I messaged her on Facebook. I text her. I call. And nothing. And that's unlike my sister to answer the phone. And so by 9 o'clock, I guess my mom was calling RCMP. We called as a family a few times throughout the day. A few people had called trying to get answers. That was excruciating, waiting for answers, not knowing if she was missing, if she was hurt or injured. I called all the hospitals, not knowing if the worst of the worst was going to happen, even if one of them was alive. And then my sister, my older sister, got a call around 7:30 last night saying that all three of them had died in the house. They found all three of them. They can't remove the remains till Tuesday, and they'll do an autopsy.
Just devastating.
But I just don't know how. I don't know anything more than she's gone, and my niece is gone, and my brother-in-law.
And Sydney, this is your cousin then as well, your auntie, your cousin, your uncle. Tell us what you can about your cousin, what she was like, and your relationship with her.
She was always very kind and bright spirit and just always like family oriented. She loved being with family. I knew she was very talented with the fiddle and art, and she loved to be outdoors. She was just a very adventurous and fun person to be around.
She'd also done some music, hadn't she, for the COVID campaign, if you will, to brighten Canadians' lives a little bit with her own music. Tell us a little bit about that.
I'm not sure if that was her own song or not, but she's been playing the fiddle for years. And it's just come naturally to her. She's very talented with the fiddle.
Mm-hmm. We actually have some visuals of Emily's last song that we want to play, we want to hear. Just to pay tribute again to this beautiful family.
That would be great. Yeah. She was so talented.
The COVID kitchen party.
Here it is, the COVID kitchen party, they called it.
Yeah.
And that was posted on Facebook, Emily's, what turned out to be tragically her last performance. And I want to better understand how well your sister and brother-in-law may have known the suspect. I understand they were neighbors.
I don't know too many details about him and their relationship. I just know that they were neighbors. I know that, people don't always see eye to eye, but that's no reason to commit this kind of act. And that's all I know, for sure.
Now, given the situation with COVID, I know if you're anything like me and my sisters, you're talking all the time, probably trying to better understand what is life like under this quarantine. What was your last conversation with your sister like?
Oh my goodness. Well, the place where she died, all three of them died, was Aaron's dad's house. When Aaron's dad passed away, they moved into that house, that acreage. And it's a self-sustainable house. They have their own power, they get their own water, they pump, and they do all these things. So our last conversation was about this whole COVID thing goes crazy. We can go move to their property because they're very self-sustainable. Yeah, her and I talked about everything, though. It's hard to nail down one conversation. She was not only my sister, but my best friend. We actually got in our first fight after 30, 40 years together, and didn't talk to each other for 2 years. And fortunately, the last few months we reconnected, and I just wish I had more time. If I knew, I wish I just had more of those conversations.
Just totally imagine how devastating this is for your family, and you want to do whatever you can. Tell us about the GoFundMe page then, and what that helps you with cathartically to have started that page.
Well, we don't even know how we're going to start. We know they have so many loved ones in Nova Scotia, and their bodies are there. We have a huge family here in Alberta, huge family, like 100 people. And not just the family, there are so many friends and people. Jolene was a waitress. She met so many people. And so how do we have a closing for not just us, but for these people and community that this is an unprecedented, horrific situation? And we just don't even know where to start. We just know that we need to travel. We need to get her body. We need to do something for Nova Scotia people. We need to do something for the Albertans. And we just don't even know what that looks like yet.
I
appreciate all the help, because I lost my business. Like, my business is closed during COVID, and I'm probably going to lose it. I have an escape room entertainment business, and I just don't know what that looks like right now. I don't know if it'll survive. My dad's got MS, and so they've got some expenses, and so the help, because my sister just was not set up. They were so young, they just weren't set up that way. So I really appreciate all the help that everybody is giving to help us.
You bring up such a good point. I mean, there is nothing normal about this situation. First of all, the horror that you and your family are experiencing, but you mentioned your own business, and that brings in the whole COVID pandemic situation, the small business closures, that sort of thing. And now funerals are not even possible. So what is giving you and Sydney and your family in Alberta and Nova Scotia strength right now?
It's everybody. It's the people, the friends, the family, and even the strangers. Like, I've connected with some of the families of those who have lost people in this tragedy. And so we're providing each other support and love. And even the strangers that send messages, I really feel the love for my sister and her family and everybody else who has been lost. I just don't even know where to start. I'm just trying to breathe.
We are all
just trying to understand. I can't talk to my sister and call her all the time. I can't hug my niece. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, Well, I just want you to know you have the whole country right now watching you, sending support, loving you and your family, and really remembering the best of your sister, your niece,
She was
and your
so
brother-in-law.
lucky. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing their story with us this morning.
Thank you for listening, and thank you so much for your time.
We're praying for you.
And to all those other families, my heart goes out to you too. This is tough. I know so many people are hurting.
There are